those who make it hard to love don't know love yet. And as I was closing out our other episode, that study, which is one of many, shows how people who have had childhood trauma, attachment wounds, they are in the business of either learning about themselves and wanting to regain their own relationship with their emotional plane and then move into being the human nature that is we are love. So when you can love yourself, that's the moment you're going to be a loving person, because you can be open and spontaneous and genuine, and that's a 3-year-old. So what happens when instead you are that? And so here's where, for those of us who don't play games of protecting ourselves and we are vulnerable, so we open-heartedly take risks. That means that we go into a relationship not because you are of value to me in the sense that you have to be with me forever and ever and ever, or you must satisfy something specific. And I want to take a minute to expand on something. So take 3 this one. For people like myself, we're used to actually dealing with projection. That's pretty much it. I have not yet met a 3-year-old, open-hearted, spontaneous human being. It's a very sad thing. I'm 43. I love love. And no, I've met all people who have a level of fear because their 0-1-year-old is there. Obviously, that doesn't include my family, my mother, my twin, my younger sister, and my extended family. But my extended family, for example, it took time before they take me in, right? Because there's a time where you're going to get to figure out, do we want you? Do we have an alignment? So that's where relationships are built in time, which is normal. That healthy, what people call skepticism, I don't personally have it. I'm a person who trusts always because I trust my own gut. That's where the 5D mystic in the Enlightenment soul age group, we don't doubt ourselves ever. And even when we might be thinking, did I see this right? Did I see this wrong? You're like, time will tell me. And time always leads us to the arrival of an expanded awareness. Okay, so we're not dead short idiots, but we do know our own story. And that's why we know, of course, I'm going to interpret anything that took place in my life with my own thoughts and emotions. But we're also able to sit in the land of equanimity and be able to say, it's not about right or wrong. That's because we're using our left and right mode. And that's why we don't harbor resentment, jealousy, envy, any of those insecure emotions. The Enlightenment soul age group person. Okay, so the 3-year-old spontaneous heart, for me, for example, has stayed. And it's not because of being treated in ways of what I would say is loving and respectful. No, because to love another, you need to first be able to love yourself. And if you have trauma and attachment wounds, you don't know that yet. And so it's not about people seeking for love outside of themselves. It's about when you know how to easily love, it's because it's our ventral vagal nervous system. It's us in a restorative embodied self. I've learned all of these things, and I'm still learning from trauma-informed and somatic-informed people. So human nature is love, not only because we have Sadhguru sharing that in our spirituality folk. It's because it's been proven, it's continuing to be proven, stuff like that, okay? And let me share then, when we handle people who are actually playing a game and they're protecting themselves, and we will pick it up. We do not have, the people who are emotional and mental. So I consider myself a mental person, even though I'm pseudoscience lady. Oh, and I will fuck up data. You all know this. I had to re-record this one because I was like, okay, wait a minute. Our left and right, they don't go offline. So if you hear me say offline, it's not because they go actually offline. But when you're a left mode dominant person, I'm going to be inclined to say your right mode is offline, because people who don't have a relationship with their emotional body, they're not using their right. Their right's not being engaged in unless they're projecting or doing their hypervigilance or doing their basically let me treat you like shit stuff. Because that's what it is when people project. You should have known better because I'm going to treat you. Okay, yeah, go screw yourself, please. we don't go and say that stuff. Like I don't tell people that. It's after the fact when I can think about, wow, that was really shitty. So like I've had a couple of people recently be pretty shitty because they're going through some mood, but they're also people who do the, oh, you have to do the human suffering bit in all the world. They're pieces of shit. So it's like, okay, wow, like drama, anyone? Can you get it together? Are you done in your little pity party? So that's how we feel about people that don't know how to handle their emotions. It's not because there's not stuff going on in the world. It's like, why are you not handling your nervous system right now? Now I can know that it's not about me being emotionless. I just know how to handle my emotions from a ventral vagal state. Yeah, I was a teenager and people would say I was emotionless. I'm like, what are you talking about? I feel very deeply. I just don't do drama. Those are two different things. So today I know how to just shut it and allow those who want to suffer, but it's really shitty when you notice that they're trying to see if you're suffering too. By picking on things that they do know, because of course we have friends, right? So you talk about things that are scary, things that are upsetting. And so I have some people, they do this stuff and I'm like, wow, like, how do you do this? And they don't actually care to go to therapy because no, humans suck and life sucks. The devil, it's evil and the demons. Oh, it's a curse. It's a curse. It's a curse. There's your default mode network offline and people needing to go find their re-traumatization, because see, it's you living in your head. When people are in a space of attachment wounds and trauma, they're not living life. They're living in their head. And where is it? Patrick Tiahan, as he points out, when people that have had childhood trauma hear the sentence, you need to love yourself first, it's confusing and a shaming letdown. And then he says it's, not easy, because what do? Just love yourself and stop submitting to others, being so stuck, struggling with addiction. But you know what I know about people that have certain things like this? They don't think twice about treating a person like myself in a very cold, unpleasant, unnecessary, and even maybe spiteful way. And so here's where we will know what's happening as it's happening, but we will know that something's off because you're human, I'm human, and that's it. I don't need to do anything about your state of consciousness because it's in your brain. You need to do something about it, not me. I get to learn a data point. I don't have a story for it. This is the difference. 4D has a story. We don't have a story. I know that you did something or you do things, and I get to learn about who you are through your actions. And your actions will indicate to me if you know how to love or not. So anybody who makes it hard to love doesn't know how to love. It's very straightforward. We don't need to be shaming, blaming, faulting, or doing anything because, a person that has hurt has hurt. And the trauma and somatic informed people gave me words and give me more words to share with those who are 5D how to handle relationships with love and respect, because it doesn't move into let me disrespect you, tell you need to go to therapy or do any of that. No. I will simply be able to use my words of, this doesn't make me feel comfortable. This doesn't have me being myself. This doesn't help me to be, wanting to talk to you. And at a certain point, enough data will show me that you are simply put a pattern of your human suffering, and that's where it comes. Our oversoul expands because we're not going to kick out of our oversoul people who don't know how to handle their 3-year-old, especially because that 3-year-old is suffering. It seems quite heartless, not to mention not necessary. Their emotional suffering doesn't affect us. We are not tangoing a love dance with any person who doesn't know how to do secure attachment because they don't know love yet. So they can't be tangoing with us. In the meantime, for any one of you who are those unconditionally loving, secure attachment, differentiated selves in your group, I know that you already know how beautiful it is to be able to share love with people and have all walks of life. And thank goodness we have the good mental health professionals, the trauma therapists, the somatic therapists, all of them with the people who want to live their emotional body. It's the most amazing experience to be a 3-year-old and then an adult with an open heart that spontaneously loves. No list of what to do, no protection, no, just taking a risk. That's actually the beauty of love. You try it out, and then in time it works for those who do love each other, of course. Tune on in.